record. Okay, now that we got all that taken care of. So this is just going to be a casual, safe conversation where we talk about how each of us are indigenous to somewhere, right? We each have indigenous roots, which means we have ancestors both for this physical body, for this lifetime, and our soul has ancestors, right? Because we are each here to experience life in a unique way, which, I mean, it's not as cut and dry as some would like to have it, or would like to kind of make it make sense in that way. So I want this to be really open. I want it to be a conversation. I want to answer some of the questions that were brought up in the group, as well as, let me let Miss Amy in, as well as creating space for you guys to do more exploring, a deeper discovery on your own, right? Because that's really the gist of it all is we do this exploration for ourselves and we learn what really feels good for us. And then we travel down that path and we follow that trail of inspiration and joy and excitement, which is really a beautiful process. So what questions, hi, Miss Amy. What questions are you all having today? If you want to unmute yourself and share them, or if you feel safer sharing them in the chat box, either way, we can do that. Let me see. Okay to record. Okay, yes, I am recording. So do you guys don't have any questions about?
I don't have a question, but it's just what I'm doing right now is I'm noticing my blood ancestry. So like human DNA, I'm connecting into that lineage strongly because I've spent a lot of time connecting into my star ancestry, which is connected like physically to us still, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like I'm braiding the two together. That's what it's not a question, it's just a sharing of what I'm doing when it comes to timeline and back into the present. Because like the star ancestry, it feels like it's happening simultaneously. So there's the element of right now, whereas the human one has the element of ancestry very strongly like engraved in a deep earth and like the deep cave. So it's like fun to bring it together.
That's incredible. And what do you notice, or how do you notice the difference when you begin braiding them together?
In me or between them?
As you're doing your work, as you are, because you've already got an understanding of your star ancestry, as you've called it. Sorry, this keeps flashing over here. The star ancestry, as you call it, and then you were saying like the physical body's ancestors, right? You said that feels completely different and grounded into Mother Earth and how that feels. So as you were trying to marry them together, what are you noticing about how you're honoring the process or them? Is it different in how you honor your? Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, it feels like more light in my every cell in my blood and also in them. So it's like it feels like they've been freed from me doing this too, from a lot of things, and an opening of blessings. So it's like celebration energy, but also like pure light, like actually more light is able to shine from within every cell and every atom. And like even my blood, I experienced so much light in my blood. I've never had that before. So that was it's like an integration. And whatever I do, whatever I'm connected to gets it too, if they're willing to receive it. So it's like, I'm really feeling how time is like not back then.
Time is definitely a unique thing. And I love that you've brought that up too, because something that I was reading, this is something that I've actually circled back to reading again, was about, how in different countries it's different years, and how our various calendars, they don't all sync up or match, right? And we always hear like time is this man-made construct. So how does that really play into this process as we're diving deeper into connecting and honoring both the physical body and our ancestors that are assigned to us in this life, and the ones that will receive healing in the future whenever they come to be, right? And how all of that kind of correlates together. Time is something that is, it's just fascinating that you brought that up, because it's something that I've been diving deeper into myself as well. And like, how is all of this playing out? And I just think that I don't know, I just think that's incredible. um, let me see here. Elise, did you have anything that you were curious about when it comes to this whole process?
I'm just most curious about healing.
Healing, like your ancestral line, or what exactly are you interested
I'm not sure.
in? Not sure.
I think in terms of, I'm sure there is healing in my ancestral line that would be good to do, but I'm just jumping into this conversation to see how it might relate to any healing that I'm doing or that I can do, or that I think I have ancestors who are no longer here, on Earth, and so just all the healing.
Yeah. And you know what's so beautiful is, as we do the work, and I just want to, kind of piggyback off of what Tavisha had also said, where those who are willing to accept the healing that we are connected to also receive it, right? So they have that choice. So we can heal. We can step into connecting with our ancestors and seeing if they're open and willing to connect with us, if they're open and willing to receive the work that we are able to do that's within the scope of what we are here to aid or connect with, right? But it's ultimately everyone's choice, whether they are still physically here on earth or they're in spirit, right? And so I think that that's really important to acknowledge. And for people who, because I know we have a couple people who aren't on, they had work and things like that, but they had mentioned, about being adopted, or they had mentioned about ethnic wise being blended, right? Like, I'm 11 different ethnicities by blood. So for me, it's like, where do I begin to tap into that? And for the person who was talking to me about being adopted, she's like, I don't know my family. So where do I begin? And the best thing, and I have goosebumps right now just talking about this, because the best thing we can each do is sit with ourselves, get quiet, right? Sit with ourselves and just let our ancestors who are always around us know that we are open to connecting with them, and begin opening up that channel of communication and see who comes in. Because some ancestors do not want to deal with you at all whatsoever, and that's completely fine. And some of them are like, oh, I love you, I'm so excited, I'm so proud of you, and they're celebrating you, and they are cheering you on, or they're protecting you. And all of that we each have access to, but it begins by being really still and quiet and saying, hey, I understand what my energy feels like. I understand what my thoughts are and how my language is in my head. It's me, I, this and that, right? But sometimes I notice when I'm meditating, the energy shifts. And when I'm intentionally trying to connect with ancestors for the highest good, the energy feels this way, or I get ringing in my ears, or I start to see shadows out of the peripheral vision. And you start to understand the energy shift and how your ancestors want to communicate with you. Because each ancestor is going to communicate with you differently. So understanding that language, and your clairs, I've shared about the clairs within our Soulpreneur Life Facebook group, right? But understanding how you are spiritually gifted and what that looks like, what that feels like. If you are used to hearing songs and music and connecting the dots that way, your ancestors can connect with you that way and let you know how they want to be honored. Because it's not about worshiping our ancestors ever, it's about honoring them, right? So there's a big difference. And I could go on for days. I just want to make sure, is this helpful for you all? Because I know I could go on my tangents for forever. Let me see. Sahid, did you have any questions? Are you good? Or Miss Amy, did you have any questions?
I
Hello,
don't.
everyone. Good afternoon. Okay.
Oh, well, let's Saeed go.
Okay.
Yeah, go on. Amy, go on.
Okay, I'll keep it quick. I have more of a comment too versus a question, I think, right now, but I just wanted to share that Akashic Records and ancestral healing, it's all relatively new to me, though I've been on a journey with Reiki and tapping into a lot of different things. So this is just another thing that I want to dive deeper into. So I'm excited. And when it came up with the topic that you were thinking about focusing on, I've been working over this last year with a psychic, like every 3 months or so. And the last time she and I talked early May, she mentioned that I have a great cousin that is on my spiritual team that really wants to come through, and that I can play a big part in ancestral healing on my dad's side of the family. And so I was like, well, how does that even work? Like, where do I begin with that? So I feel like this topic feels very important in just accessing and learning how to help and how to connect. So thank you for
thank you. And thank you for sharing that, because again, that topic of where do I begin, it surfaces for a lot of us, right? And because some of us, we genuinely don't understand how to start that journey. But I have notes that I've written down too, because I could talk forever. So to make sure I stay on track, I do have notes. And we're going to talk about how we begin and how we get started in that process. And I channeled a guided meditation that I jotted down last night when I was really sitting with this topic that we're going to do at the end, if you guys are willing. Disclaimer, the Akashic Records are open now, so I do channel information. If you ask me something directly and something comes through, that's what's going to happen, right? So I'm not just going to willy-nilly just be all up in your records, but that's just a part of how I work. But Sahid, I know that you wanted to say something, so what did you want to say?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me on here. I am so happy to be here, to see you all, to meet you all. Well, to me also, this whole topic of healing, connecting to my ancestors and all those stuff are relatively new to me as well. And I'm so glad to be here today, because I think you're discussing all of the things that I actually want to know more about. Then all I know is that, I've been having this feeling like I have had to, go through a lot of things. And at one point I kind of sat down and I felt there has to be another way. Like there's got to be something other than all these things that I'm experiencing. Like there's got to be more to life than just, having to experience all these things. Like there's got to be a kind of a fuller life somewhere where I can feel fulfilled, where I can, be happy, achieving all of the things that I want to achieve, doing all of the things that I want to do, and, being with the people, the exact people that I want to have around me.
Yeah.
So, and then, when that happened, I started doing away with people. First of all, I started paying much more attention to every single person around me, how I feel about them when they're around, when they leave. Understand the things they bring into my life, the things they talk about, their feelings, the energies they, bring into my space and things like that. And, after I started noticing the differences in people and the way I feel when I'm around them. And so I felt, then I started, differentiating them in that way. Like, okay, these are the kind of people I want to have around me, and these ones are not the kind I want to have around me. So like that, right now, I intentionally kick people out of my life. Right now, I'm at that stage right now. Once I notice that you're not in alignment with the way I want to feel about my life, I kick them out. Like I stop communicating with them. I stop picking their calls. I do that. And what I've noticed since I started doing that is that I feel happier, a lot happier. And then I feel there's this clarity that I feel now, because I intentionally separate myself. I distance myself from things that have nothing to the life I want to live, things that have nothing to do with the future that I have planned for myself and like that. So I know I'm doing something different, and I know I'm feeling a lot better than I used to feel, and I'm moving faster towards my goal now. So I believe I can only get better. And so that's all I know. And I believe it is healing though, because psychologically, mentally, and in fact, in every area of my life, I feel way better than I used to feel. And I also feel this confidence, this energy feels like, yeah, I can do everything now. Like everything is easy now. Like I can achieve anything now. So, all these feelings, I don't know, I doubt if I can find the exact words to express how I truly feel. But really, everything feels so great right now. And I feel, the great days that I expect the great days that I expect to experience in my life are just around the corner. So thank you for having me once again. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
No, thank you for sharing that. That's beautiful as well. And I was like, as you're talking, like my whole body is just going, my clairs are like on fire right now. I'm just so active because it's really true. And boundaries are the greatest form of self-care and self-love, right? And it's really hard to enforce that when we feel like boundaries are limiting other people's access to us, when we feel obligated to them, whether they're family, friends, whoever they are to us, right? But boundaries truly allow you to let go of what you never were supposed to pick up. When you're carrying burdens, struggles, and things like that that never belong to you, that are literally slowing you down. And you do speed up when you let that shit go. Excuse my language, but when you let that shit go, things speed up because you're not holding on to stuff you were never intended to hold. And then that person who is supposed to hold on to it, what happens to them? They build strength doing the work that was always intended for them. Do you hear what I'm saying? They build the strength that they need by doing the work that was assigned to them. And then the same goes for each and every single one of us. So like we've mentioned, when you let go of that, and how I said earlier in the call, you understand your language, right? Your spiritual language, how spirit is talking and communicating with you, what your own energy feels like, so that when your ancestors do come in, so that when spirit guides come in, so that when you're connected to source, you understand that you are being divinely supported, even though you may not see it. Right? Does that make sense? And so there is that acceleration because you're doing the work that you're supposed to be doing instead of doing someone else's homework. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you say something else, Sahid? I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm saying yes to everything you've said. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Oh, it made my heart so excited to hear that. Just
to what you were saying, I just feel like something really important, especially when it comes to the esoteric and the mystical, is to know yourself, like you were saying before. So if you know your energy, you know what your quietness is like, you feel when something touches your awareness and is trying to kind of communicate with you. And also, like what Sahid was saying, when you know yourself, you claim sovereignty. So it's like the boundary becomes natural because there's a centeredness of what is real for me, what is true for me, what do I actually want to do in this scenario. So and the healing, am I frozen? No,
you're not frozen.
Okay, the healing that a few people have mentioned, what I've personally experienced is that just the intention is a decision that you've like opened up that kind of a portal of experiencing. And when it comes to ancestry, a lot is in the unconscious. So it's like sometimes you'll be like, why do I feel nauseous, or why am I yawning? And that's ancestry healing happening, where it's like pockets of energy being released from your body. And I've been getting the nausea a lot, so I'm like, it's happening, or burning. So it's like just you having the desire, it means that it's happening, and you can trust that. But then the more you want to know consciously, the more you'll attract resources or information that will give you ground in it too. Like, I love how much power we have, and just an intention, just a decision.
Yes. I love that. And it's really true. And there's a teaching that that I learned. I don't remember did I learn it? I learned it as a kid, but I don't remember who taught it to me. And then I learned it again when I was going through my certification to be an Akashic Records practitioner and healer and all of that. So the source of where I learned this initially, I can't remember, but I know as a child, I was always taught, like, when we do the work, our ancestors in the past, present, and future, for 7 lines, like the number 7 was really important. 7 back, 7 forward, always has access to the work that you do, to the connection that you create as you foster that healing, right? So we are still receiving healings and integrations as we accept that from our ancestors who have also done work, right? And because time is not linear, time is not what we think it is as human beings, right? This man-made construct. In a multiverse, in another universe, in a parallel universe, people who are doing work for us, for our line, our ancestry line, be it our soul or our physical body, we have access to that. And so that's why connecting with yourself, sitting by yourself and understanding your own energy signature, I'm getting, my whole head is like tingling right now. But allowing yourself to understand what your energy signature is and feels like will allow you to shift your mindset and your awareness so that you're able to open up and receive what you're willing to receive, and to set those boundaries when, like Sahid said, when people are around you that put you off kilter, or you feel really heavy, or you start picking up stuff that does not belong to you. And, you know, I teach in that spiritual hygiene mini masterclass that I did. It's really important to call back your energy, to cleanse and clear your aura, and to always call back your energy, right? From all entities, timelines, people, engagements, because every time you choose to engage with someone in a conversation, in a text, in a post online, you're exchanging energy, right? And sometimes if you find yourself where that thought, and you're like, oh, I'm still thinking about something from 2 weeks ago, or a conversation I had with someone from 2 weeks ago, are you fully present if that's the case? Right? So when, this is why I was that kid who asked a lot of questions and got in trouble a lot for asking a lot of questions. But I really want to encourage you all in your present day life to ask a lot of questions. Why is this way? Why do I feel this way? Who told them that that was the answer? Who told them that we couldn't do that? Who told them that this was the rule, or it had to be this way? Why is it this way? Because that leads you to the stepping stones of your own personal development, your own self-discovery, your self-mastery. And it's going to lead you to things like tools, resources, people who are going to help you along your awakening journey, or along your connection to the modalities or the things. I like, my whole body has chills right now. But it's going to connect you to the people, places, things, and resources that are leading you where your soul blueprint already knows it wants to go, right? Let me see. I'm going to look at my notes really quick because I had written down. And hi, Miss Victoria. I was talking about you earlier before you got on the call. How are you doing? Do you have anything that you want to ask or share with us before I get carried away?
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. I'm here with my friend Justice earlier. So you know, I don't know. I'm just excited to be here, you know. And you know, it's interesting. I don't know, it just, the thought evaded me, whatever was on my mind. I'm just like, if I have anything to say, I definitely will pipe up. You know, we're just over here nodding and like saying,
Well, I really love that you guys are here. Welcome. Definitely pop in as the questions come up and things like that. Something that we had briefly discussed before that I'm feeling the need to kind of circle back to is not only does the question like, where do I begin, come up for so many of us, but that question of like, who am I and who do I identify with? Who are my ancestors? And I have no idea why I feel like laughing out loud right now, but I feel like laughing. But a lot of that is cleared up as we spend time connecting to who we are, right? Without judgment, which is really important, because when we start judging and saying it shouldn't be this way, or so-and-so's doing it this way, or this person said that their experience was that way, but I don't know, that disconnects you from your higher self, from your knowing, from your spiritual clairs, your gifts, and how your energetic language and how you interpret spirit communicating with you, right? Because you're doubting it. So essentially you're creating your own block from the ancestors who want to step up and let you know, like, hey, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, spirit, I got you. Something that is, I think, really important to realize is that as you intentionally sit with yourself and understand your signature and how you communicate with spirit and how you sit and you communicate and you open up communication with your ancestors and you understand how to communicate with them, how to honor them, it's going to open you up to clarity that is really unique for you. And like, this is what I'm seeing, and it's kind of going really fast in my brain and my mouth is going slower than the thoughts are going in my head. But the stepping stones that a lot of us have probably already taken, right? So something like doing ancestry DNA in order to kind of understand, okay, well, what is my culture? What ancestors am I connecting to? I can't make sense of it because we want it to look a certain way, right? We think or we feel that something should come to us in a certain way. And it's like, well, if I don't know how to connect with or what practices to partake in, the more you sit with your ancestors, just in that community, right? You just sit with them in meditation. You sit with them and just be silent and ask questions and get really curious. They'll lead you. They will literally lead you. Mm-hmm. You'll have an idea pop in your head, like, oh, maybe I should go research this, or maybe I should read this book, or maybe I have this weird feeling like I should Google this crystal, and I have no idea why, right? Because those are stepping stones in how you're learning how to communicate and strengthen that bond and strengthen that connection as you move forward. This doesn't happen overnight. Mm-hmm. It's not something that you just say, oh, I want to connect with my ancestors, and they come just like at the drop of a hat with you doing absolutely nothing, right? Like that's not how it works. But what's being shared right now is just about shadow. What is this about shadow? And how connecting with our ancestors can kind of trigger our ego, or it can trigger a certain aspect of us that is insecure if we haven't taken the time to understand ourselves first. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I think what I really liked, and that was shared by you just now, and then the other, I didn't catch her name, the other one who shared, was just like having the intention, mm-hmm. Because I haven't, a little bit of my past, and like not, being adopted, not having any, all of that information. But I love that it doesn't have to be so, it's like I'm looking for a black and white solution to something that's grayscale. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I love that all I have to do is come in with an intention and, be more open-minded about the process, so.
And consistent. Yeah. And consistent.
Yeah. Consistent. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That
My name's Justice. I kind of look at, since I didn't know where to go, like with ancestor wise, I kind of am just like aliens. That's it. I'm talking to aliens. You know what I mean? Like, and how I have personally made sense of it. But I've had like a lot of experiences that like that where that makes sense for my life. You know what I mean? Like not necessarily like my ancestry and my DNA is like where I want to go. It's like anyway, connected to like starseed theory. So there is that place that you can start too. You know, like it's not anywhere near black and white at all.
And I want to bring up something that I'm actually uncomfortable bringing up, but my stomach is hurting really bad. So I'm going to listen, because if not, then I know that what happens when I don't listen to spirit. Being really intentional with honoring, how do I say this? I'm being really intentional with honoring and being appreciative for cultures and not allowing individualism to separate you is coming up, because there's this influx of people kind of tapping into spirituality to be an individual instead of understanding the connection that we each have, so that it divides us, right? So it divides us and separates us. And for some people, it leads them down the path of white supremacy. And that's a topic a lot of people don't want to talk about, because in spiritual workings, it's like, oh no, love and light and this and that, but there's also a shadow, because there has to be balance for everything. So being really accountable and asking yourself, am I honoring the roots, the indigenous beliefs of this practice that I am a part of, that I am practicing, that I am learning, studying, right? And then as soon as something starts to feel off, challenging it, questioning it, and getting the answers. If you can't get the answers, that's an answer in itself, right? My whole mouth is like watering and like my whole body is tingling. Oh my gosh. So I had opened up sacred space and all of that before the call, when I had opened up the records, and I just knew by the guides that came in today that they were going to be on me. Sorry. And that's where, working with the Akashic Records, which is, you guys know, is my favorite modality to use, and tapping into kind of the various aspects of both my soul, my clients' souls and their blueprint, their past lives, star seeds, things of that nature. Like I've had someone who had a life like inside of a star, like literally inside of a star. And it was the most incredible session I think I've ever had, because I was blown away by the energy and just how bright everything got and all of that. So I understand like the aspects of us, like we're not just one-dimensional beings. So we have these various experiences and support systems that are around us energetically, but it's choosing to tap into the ones intentionally that are there for our highest good. And something that Spirit shared with me when I was actually taking notes, which I haven't even been reading because I have a bad attention span, is that sometimes we have ancestors who are heavy, who are not love and light, right? Because they help us move through that heavy, dense stuff that we are going through at whatever stage we're going through it. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So just because you may connect with an ancestor and their energy may not be, oh, love and light and everything is glorious and everything is like rainbows and sunshine. No, they're a freaking warrior and they're going to help you. They're literally dragging your ass through what you're going through and teaching you what you need to do to elevate, to level up to that next thing that you'll go through. I totally missed Sahid's message over here. I need a few minutes, please. I'll be back. Okay. So does that resonate? Does that make sense with you all? Or does that bring up anything for anyone? No? All good? All good. Okay. Let me look at my notes really quick. I know that this is not like a class at all. I'm just, I wanted it to be a really open conversation because I know that this is definitely, go ahead.
I was just going to say the last thing you said really brought back the idea of having boundaries, even with ancestry too, you know, like even though they're kind of like in our blood or like we're connected in that way, there can be a sense of having almost like a light barrier, like and I don't mean light as in good versus bad, but just like if you don't have enough resonance with this, you can't come into my bubble.
Yeah.
So like with everyone, and then with ancestry too. But before, I don't know who was speaking, I felt like having trust is very grounding too when it comes to this, because trust will ground us and allow expansion at the same time. And like we can trust. So that's something to just invite in when exploring who we are as well, and what can come forward with that.
I love that. I love that for so many reasons. And it is, you said it beautifully, and I definitely agree, like having that kind of bubble of like, if you are not here for my highest good, like you're not for me, you know, like you're not allowed in, you're not allowed close to me. And what we have to realize is just like in this physical world where there's people that we don't even know that don't like us for some reason, or who look at us and they envy or they're envious or jealous or something of that nature, right? There's that same presence with some spirits who are not evolved, right? And I can even use some of my ancestors as an example. So I'm 11 different ethnicities, and something that was really challenging for me to navigate was the question, how many people were raped to get me to exist? Because the blend of humans that had to come together to create me do not make sense if there's not some commingling that was not consensual, right? And I'm not saying that to trigger anyone, but I had to deal with that shadow work. I had to deal with getting support from spirit and understanding that, you know, yes, this was the process. Yes, this did happen. This is what we can work on to heal some of this, because it's not yours to carry, right? Like put that back down, and this is your purpose, and this is where you pick up and you run, and this job of healing that belongs to someone else. But have an awareness of it so that as you move forward, like I can have compassion and hold space and understanding, right? And that builds trust, knowing that even though initially I had a really, really hard time like getting through that in my mind, because I'm a very logical person sometimes, and I'm like, I can't get my brain through this, like this loop that I keep cycling through, until I received support and I connected with someone who was like, you know, baby, it's okay, like, you know. But that would have never happened if I didn't take time to understand who I was and how I connect with spirit. And then working in the Akashic Records is where I got to dive a little bit deeper into more of that. And there are ancestors who do not mess with me. And then there are ancestors who do not let other ancestors mess with me. Does that make sense? And that goes for each of us. We each have layers, and we have protection, and we have ancestors who will not let other ancestors access us or access to us at all, because it's not in our highest good. So you also have to have that conversation, not just, hey, I want everyone who resonates with this truth, right? But I also want everyone to communicate with me in a way that I understand, because these are my dreams and goals and aspirations. And I'm going to honor you, not worship you, but I'm going to honor you in these ways. And I'm going to work consistently to talk to you. And, you know, it doesn't always have to be meditation. And this is something that I've shared before, but it wasn't directly about ancestors, but just saying something out loud. So I'm clear smelling, and my uncle who passed, he communicates with me through smell. No other way but through smell. And so it's a very unique smell, and it's a product that I do not have in my home. So whenever I smell it, I'm like, hey, Unc, how you doing? Thanks for coming by. I miss you. I love you. Right? Just talking out loud, something as simple as that. Or if something funny happens, I will say out loud, like, Mom, I just thought about you right now. So I just want to give you a little shout out, because all of that honors your ancestors and lets them, their memory stay true. And as silly as it may seem, like President's Day, I saw something talking about Americans have no culture, but then they're like, we celebrate President's Day and like all of these other holidays for people's, right, on like holidays. And that's literally like celebrating ancestors, whether they know it or not. That's honoring an ancestor. They may be a crappy ancestor, but it's honoring an ancestor by doing all of that. So something as simple as like setting a day aside to honor someone, or there's the Day of the Dead, or all of those other really incredible, rich in culture annual things that come up that you can also learn about and you may find yourself drawn to. So if you feel drawn to it or called to it, explore it. Oh no, don't worry about it. We're gonna do the healing here in a couple minutes. I didn't realize we were already 45 minutes in. Okay. Does anyone want to say anything before I share the meditation and healing? No? Serious faces? Okay. Oh, my daughter painted my nails and they're all chipping now. And I just realized it on camera. So let me call myself out. Okay, everyone go ahead and get comfortable. I'm gonna turn off my camera because I always make weird faces when I do this. And take a second. Make my crystals. I'm gonna set up some crystals really, really quick. Give me a second. Okay. And I'm gonna cut this up for you all. So I'm gonna do like an intro and everything so I don't have to do it when I cut it up later and put music to it. So okay. Hello, everyone. This is Kendra, and I will be your guide today as you connect with your ancestors, gain wisdom and guidance in order to heal your ancestral lineage and connections. Go ahead and find a comfortable position. Perhaps dim your lights, lay down or sit, whatever is right and true for you today. Close your eyes and allow my voice to simply guide you, knowing that you are held in divine and sacred space, no matter how many times you choose to listen to this. Each time allowing yourself to connect with a different ancestor and a different experience. The blueprint for all that your soul may need or seek is within us and easily accessible, as we are always connected with our ancestors through soul connections and DNA carried from generation to generation. Our DNA holds traces of their experience as a mother carrying her daughter carries that which will one day become her grandchildren, and so on. Emotional echoes from the past, karmic bonds, physical changes created in order to survive a specific time of life. Scars can become beautiful markers that we carry with joy or sadness that may not be ours to carry. So we will begin exploring some of our lineage here and now. Embark on the journey with me to seek out your human-born ancestors or your soul ancestors that are willing to step forward to connect with you today, understanding that you may change each time you listen to this for a new experience. Setting the intention that you are open to exploring your ancestral lines and shift awareness in order to open up and heal anything that requires it. Anything that requires it. Remember that you are safe and divinely protected within this sacred space created for you here today. To connect with and see your ancestors and what messages they may have for you. So allow for yourself to release expectation and stay connected with your breath. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Allowing your nervous system to settle. Allowing you to be present. Understanding that you may receive guidance as your spiritual gifts are activated specifically for you, for your clairs. Trusting that you may see, sense, know, feel, taste, hear, remember. It's all a part of your experience and connection, and how you will strengthen your communication as you honor your ancestors. Begin first by taking 3 slow and intentional breaths through your nose, filling your lungs, and slowly exhaling, releasing through your mouth. Releasing tension that may exist within your face, jaw, neck, allowing it to just melt away from your shoulders, spine, hips, and feet. Dropping your awareness down into your heart space at the tip of your sternum, and without judgment for how it may feel or appear, allow yourself to open up and be present. Present for this experience, that we may perform this subconscious work and healing together while supported in the magnificent energy of unconditional love within the Akashic Records, where the masters, teachers, and loved ones will support your connection to the highest good, the highest form of love for you. And as you are in the center of your heart space, connecting to your breath, I want you to feel, see, imagine a beautiful golden light coming from above, from Creator, entering your auric field, your crown, and filling up all of your energy centers with beautiful, sacred, golden light. With beautiful, sacred, golden light. And as it does, you feel the vibration throughout your body raising, moving faster and faster and faster as it's blessing and activating your cells, your blueprint that's within your DNA, and your soul blueprint, which knows exactly what it needs. As this light swirls around you in your heart space, it flows down through your body, through your legs to your feet, and it activates your energetic roots, which reach down through all the layers, through your Earth Star chakra, down through all of the Earth's crusts and magma, until it finds Gaia's sacred crystalline heart. And it meets you there with love and gratitude as you plug into her sacred heart, grounding you. And she sends you a blessing of love, support, petrified wood, onyx, amethyst, emerald crystalline energies, and they all come through your energetic roots, up, 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 through all of the energy centers of your body. And you feel these energies dancing and flowing throughout your whole body in your energy field, blessing every cell of your being, staying connected to your breath now. Feel deep reverence, gratitude. In the center of your heart space, notice that there's a beautiful lotus flower where these energies have pulled together and colored your lotus flower for you. I want you to walk to it. Walk to it and step into the lotus flower and find a comfortable position as you notice the frequency of your being getting excited and raising higher and higher and higher. And you are more aware of this warm glow surrounding your body. And as you allow your muscles to relax more and more, you lean deeper into the loving energy of divine support. Your healing protective light. It warms and cradles you, releasing to it any thoughts that you may have on the exhale, any worries, any emotions that haven't been serving your highest good. Allow them to drift away to source. Allow them to drift away and be transformed into energy for your alignment. And as your lotus flower encapsulates you, petals folding around you like a cocoon or a warm hug, it lifts you up through your heart space to a higher, safe dimension. It takes you up, 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 up. Stay connected to your breath. And you land in the most perfect place. In the perfect place, the perfect temperature and time of day. And as you step out of your lotus flower and you feel the vibrations swirling around you, on each inhale, you continue to absorb this crystalline divine energy of masculine and feminine that flows through your entire body, preparing you for this interaction, balancing you out. Take a moment to just share gratitude for the opportunity as your spine activates and each organ feels the blessing of the work that you are doing, that you will do. The appreciation for your DNA, which holds the gifts that you yet to even begin to explore, and for the experiences. The appreciation for the key and blueprint within your sacred messenger for your life and generational healing. Anything you feel willing to explore can be done here today. Anything you feel willing to explore can be done here today. This is a connection. This is key to your healing, your awareness and understanding of emotions, identity, ancestral memory, and lineage. So anything that you feel requires your intentional and conscious healing and attention today can be done in this space. Set the intention now to connect with your ancestors. You can listen to this affirmation and connect it as your own if you wish, or state one of your own. I invite with the highest intentions and for the greatest good, one of my authentic ancestors to come through and communicate with me, and in a way that I may easily understand, one that I'm meant to hear, one that I'm meant to hear from at this time to support my overall growth, healing, and development in unconditional love, peace, compassion, and understanding. My authentic guides are present. My authentic guides are present. I know they watch over me, providing the care and support. Now, as you have set your intention, I want for you to notice a pathway outside of your lotus flower ahead of you. Staying connected to your breath, in through your nose, out through your mouth. When you're ready, I want for you to walk down the path, each step bringing you closer to the place and time that your ancestor existed and is willing to meet you today. I'll count down as you find each step allows for you to drift deeper and deeper into your connection, your discovery, and relaxation while you stay connected to your breath. Here we go. 10, 9, feeling very calm and relaxed. Now 8, 7, traveling deeper along the path into spiritual dimensions. You are definitely safe. 6, 5, your consciousness travels through all space and time. 4, 3, you are continually safe and protected. 2, and 1, you find yourself in the place and time that your ancestor existed, and just allow your surroundings to form around you, taking your time and without judgment for what it may feel or sense or look like, allowing it to unfold. Allow colors to appear, your senses to activate, the scenery to reveal itself. And get curious. What do you observe? What's around you? Your surroundings are becoming increasingly vivid. Your surroundings are becoming increasingly vivid. Take it all in. What do you hear? What does it feel like to you? What does it feel like to you? And as you take it all in, you notice that there's someone there. Your ancestor has come to greet you. They are so excited to see you. They've been waiting. I want for you to see them now. See them walking or running towards you. And you can head towards them. They are your ancestor. They are your ancestor. And being in spirit form for some time now, they are aware of who you are. The continuance of the soul energy is forever. And they have likely in many ways transcended so much of their earthly experience. However, they're still very much themselves, only wiser, with a broader perspective. So as you reach them, observe their appearance. Are they excited to see you? Are they anxious? What are they wearing? Allow them to become clearer and clearer and more clear. Notice culture, smells, colors, their demeanor. And in your mind or out loud, go ahead and greet them, always leading with gratitude, thanking them for connecting. Ask them their name or their nickname and introduce yourself to your ancestor. Notice when you receive their response, which spiritual gift activates within you? How are they communicating? You may hear them within your mind or receive them as a sense of knowing. They know that you're their descendant. They have a gift they've been waiting to share with you. Allow them to give you that gift here and now. You can observe them handing it to you or sharing it with you. What is it? Ask them what it means or how to use it. Or if they have a desire for you to use it in a certain way. Or perhaps they just have a word of wisdom to share with you. And remember, as you receive their response and their gift, you may always choose whether or not to act upon their guidance in the future. Free will is yours. Now is the time to activate and notice your intuitive senses, so you can understand their energetic language, so you know when they're around you in your day-to-day life. Take a moment to feel into the energies of this person. Ask them questions. What positive gifts have they handed down that you are perhaps unaware of, that they are willing to share today? Or positive experiences, characteristics that show up in your life today that are from them. Allow them to point you in the direction, your awareness to be pointed to any ancestral healing that needs or desires to be noticed, healed. What, if any, unpleasant experience have they been through, or emotional healing that they ask you to assist them in healing? Reassure them that you do not blame them. Reassure them that you do not blame them for not completing what they did not have the tools or insight to heal while they were here. And that with their support, you will do your absolute best. But it begins with an awareness. So ask them to share that with you now. And with your ancestor there in front of you, I want you to become aware of your heart chakra and it activating. Your heart space becoming warm and bright with love, compassion. And send out your loving, healing energy from your heart to theirs, from your heart to theirs, with the intention of healing any trauma that they have suffered. And as you do so, your spiritual guides stand around you both, holding you in divine protection and love. Allow your heartstrings to activate and reach out to fully connect to their heart. Connecting. Allowing for healing to happen. And this is healing them and you. And as you do this and they receive, hold them in grace, love, with such great compassion and understanding for their circumstances and situations. See and send them a stream of crystalline energy from your heart. And intuitively, your spirit guides may add a specific energy or crystalline energy to support you and your ancestor for your specific healing today. All you need to do is allow that to flow. Trust your intuition, trust your spirit team. Observe, notice the colors that are going in between the two of you or surrounding you. Noticing that as you heal them, realize that any karmic cycles, perhaps in the form of repeating events like abuse, substance abuse, poor financial management, or misfortune that has been in a cycle that you wish to heal in them also is healed within you. And if you sense their karma, send healing for that and gratitude for the lighter, good feeling karma that also may exist or present itself. Allow your ancestor to know that it is okay and they are able to forgive themselves for whatever they continue to carry, to forgive others. And you can forgive them and others in your life too. Send them the power and strength to break their karmic cycles by channeling the divine protection and love given to you through Creator, through Mother Earth. Any karma passed to you, your children, and so forth may simply dissolve and evaporate immediately. Take a deep breath in and out. In healing their spirit, you heal all in spirit in the lineage between them and you. Strength and joyful liberation, supported by love and compassion. Taking in another breath, allowing these energies and the support of divine to flow and integrate. Allow your heart to return to its normal strength and intensity now. And still, while aware of your surroundings, thank your ancestor. Take a moment to exchange a few words. And if they have guidance, to share that with you now as you say your goodbyes. I'll give you a moment. As you give your ancestor a big hug or a high five, and you tell them that you will communicate with them again soon and that you're so grateful for this experience. They walk back down the path and you turn to walk back down your path, step towards your lotus flower, back, into your lotus flower, returning back to your heart space in 3, 2, 1. In your heart space. And you may sit in this energy for as long as you'd like, or you may slowly bring your awareness to your surroundings, to the seat under you. You may want to rub your hands together and bring your body back into this physical plane in this moment, and grounding. And when you're ready, take a breath and open your eyes. Thank you so much for being here today. Make sure that you stay in touch and subscribe on all platforms. Soulpreneurlifellc.com. I'm going to turn my camera on over here. How are y'all doing? That one a little bit longer than I expected. How was your experience with that? How did it feel? How was your experience? How did it feel?
That was great.
I didn't want to be the first one to talk. I didn't know if people were still coming out of their happy places or not so happy places, either way. So thank you.
You're very welcome. I missed a message. Really felt that in my body. Love that. Were you guys able to tap into your ancestors and actually connect with them, or was it more of a feeling? You guys are typing on me. Hold on. I got to expand the box over here. Beautiful meditation. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you. Yes, I felt my ancestors as light. That's incredible. I know, I think the first time, I'm not going to hold you guys too long, but I think the first time it was like this huge feeling, and it like super tingly feeling before I could see. And then as I did, it wasn't this meditation, obviously, but as I like practiced and did my own kind of connection and opening up that door, it was completely different. And then I could see, and then it wasn't like mouth moving conversation, but it was just like a knowing of what they were sharing. Does anyone want to share the gift that they were given by their ancestor? Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. Well,
I can share if you want someone to say something. I had really beautiful visions and experiences. I was brought to one very like feminine. So Essence was feminine, and she's so powerful. And there was this massive like crowd of other ancestors looking at her. Like she was not royalty, but she was up, and then she was unveiled, and it was just pure white light in her face. So I never saw her face, but then I saw what she did was she blessed everyone. And then I was given that, like that was the blessing I received, the ability to bless, which was it was the radiance and the love that is given in a blessing. That's what I felt. It was so beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing that with me. I love that. I love that. I have to say, like, sometimes, because I channel this, right? And I feel like crying right now, because it's like sometimes I channel this information as I'm going through, right? And it's like, I trust what I'm channeling. I trust that I'm connected. But then to be able to hear your guys' experience on that end, because it's like my experience is different, and all of my clairs are active, and it's like I'm getting so much information. So to hear or to see your guys' experience, it's kind of like it brings it full circle for me, because sometimes it's like just an open horseshoe where it's like, okay, I know I did these things, but I don't know how it landed or if it helped or anything like that. So just hearing that's really beautiful. That's really beautiful. So all right. Well, I appreciate all of you. Does anyone have a problem with me sharing this recording in the group, or do you prefer I don't?
Good. I'm good with that.
Good. Okay. Well, if you guys are good, then I'll get it situated so that I can share it in the group, and then I'll work on getting the meditation separate and put it to music so that you guys can have it.
Cool.
All right. All right. Well, thank you all for being here. You guys are beautiful, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. You're very welcome.